In this session, we will be learning how to construct a solar garden light using dusk to dawn charge controller 12 volts 10 ampere, solar battery 12 volts 100 ampere hours, solar panel 75 watts and 4x LED light 12 volts DC 5 watts. At the end of this session, you will be able to know what a solar garden light is, identify the components of a solar garden light, understand the operating principle of a solar garden light and perform these steps to construct a solar garden light using a dusk to dawn charge controller. Solar garden lights are light fixtures that serve as decorative elements which are installed in gardens. These lights add a mission theme to the garden or enhance the nautical style of the walkways and yards. Most of the solar garden lamp posts are finished with durable yet stylish materials in a variety of styles and shapes. All post-mounted solar-powered garden lights add a unique, personal touch to any space. Varieties of solar lamp posts of many brands with single, double and even triple styles are available for the garden, patio or walkway. This has become a way of lifestyle. Solar garden lights add a lot of features to interior lighting and outdoor landscaping. To get the most out of the solar indoor or outdoor lights, we need to maintain and use them properly. Outdoor solar landscape lights can last for many years of continuous operation if maintained well. Of course, choosing a high-quality brand is also important. A solar garden light is composed of a solar photovoltaic or SPV panel, a dusk to dawn charge controller, a solar battery, garden lamp assembly sets, LED lamps, sockets, switches and wires. The solar garden light operates on electricity received from batteries that are charged through the SPV panel. The solar charge controller for the operation of solar garden lights needs the dusk to dawn feature, which turns on the LED light during sunset, dusk and turns off during sunrise, dawn. For domestic products such as garden lighting, SPV systems designed exclusively for DC loads are used. DC is of constant magnitude or amplitude and it remains at the same amplitude from the moment of switching on to the moment of switching off. The polarity of the voltage source does not change. LED lights used here consume little electricity and hence it is best suited for small household garden lights. The power ratings of the SPV modules used to charge the solar garden lights is low as the electricity consumption rate of LEDs is very low. Solar garden lights work on the principle of photovoltaic effect. During the day, the solar photovoltaic SPV panel absorbs energy from the sun and converts this solar energy into electrical energy. The converted energy is then stored in solar batteries through a charge controller. This charge controller protects the battery by preventing the backflow of current through the solar panel during night and regulating the voltage. At night, the solar panel stops generating electricity and the LED light powers on. Here is the procedure to construct a solar garden light using a dusk to dawn charge controller. Make sure you have the tools and instruments or equipment required to construct a solar garden light using a dusk to dawn charge controller such as a dusk to dawn charge controller 12 volts 10 ampere, solar battery 12 volts 100 ampere hours, solar panel 75 watts, 4x LED light 12 volts DC 5 watts, 4 sets of garden lamp assembly, sockets, switches and wires as necessary. To construct a solar garden light using a dusk to dawn charge controller, wire the load circuit using conduit pipes, sockets, switches and wires in a parallel connection. Ensure you take care of polarities. Then keep the switches in off positions and connect the LED bulbs. Note that the dusk to dawn charge controller LED is off. Connect the fully charged solar battery 12 volts 100 ampere hours to the battery input terminals of the dusk to dawn charge controller. Next, connect the solar panel 75 watts to the solar input terminals of the dusk to dawn charge controller. Following that, place the solar panel in sunlight and check that the charging LED is on. Connect the load wires positive and negative to the corresponding output ports on the dusk to dawn charge controller. Here is the procedure to test garden lights using solar power. Make sure you have all tools and equipment listed here. Verify that the LED bulbs are not on. Block the solar panel with black cloth. Alternatively, remove one wire of the solar input terminal on the dusk to dawn charge controller. Verify that the charge controller gets switched on after a time delay. Verify that the output LED is on. Switch on the LED bulbs one by one and test the garden lighting circuit. Reconnect one wire of the solar input terminal which was removed earlier on the dusk to dawn charge controller, or remove the black cloth on the solar panel. Verify that the LED bulbs are going off after a time delay and assemble the LED bulbs in the garden light assembly. Install the garden lights and record the learning or observations.
We have reached the end of this session on construct a solar garden light using dusk to dawn charge controller 12 volts 10 ampere, solar battery 12 volts 100 ampere hours, solar panel 75 watts and 4x LED light 12 volts DC 5 watts. By now, you should be able to know what a solar garden light is, identify the components of a solar garden light, understand the operating principle of a solar garden light and perform the steps to construct a solar garden light using a dusk to dawn charge controller.